All right, Ten Hag has gone ahead to warn the Man United senior players over what they think he should be doing to the club of Man United. And it's a very huge story that you would obviously want to hear if at all you're a United fan, that Erik Ten Hag is a manager who obviously keeps his stance when it comes to obviously what people really think about him. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from, I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Big story. Amad Diallo is back in full United training. Guys, hope you guys are excited as me. And I really hinted about him, by the way, when I was talking about Marcus Rashford and Anton Martial, whether their spell at Man United has gone here to come to an end, and never knew that the club was going to obviously release an article about Amad Diallo returning to full team training. Juma Karim to the Muslim viewers and subscribers everywhere that watch this channel, and the Christians, may the living to God bless you abundantly. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really doing lots of work to see to it that you really get to where you deserve to be on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And let's start up with Amad Diallo returning to full training of Man United, and that is him. That is him, Rashford, Amad Diallo, Rafael Varane, and I think this is Kobe Menu. So he's back in full United training. That is Amad Diallo, and no one is really unhappy about him. Everyone at the club is happy and very loaded with happiness as far as the return of Amad Diallo is really concerned. Let me lecture you a little bit. Let me lecture you a little bit about the return of Amad Diallo. In the situation where Anthony has always gone ahead not to perform well, and Amad Diallo returns, and if at all you know what Amad Diallo puts up on the field of play, then you will vastly agree with me that it's really one of those moments that should excite everyone at the club of Man United. This boy is really electric. He's the perfect explanation that you can have a player that can obviously get you more from the right attacking side of the midfield. And where does this leave Marcus Rashford? To me, it gets him onto the bench and not even getting enough playing time for the club of Man United, because Erik Ten Hag will always start Anthony or Amad Diallo onto the right attacking side of the midfield. That is it. He will start him on any day because he will not risk to play a right-footed player onto that side when he has a left-footed player. And that is none other than Amad Diallo. And for Amad Diallo, I know he's more effective and efficient than Anthony, and he comes in through at a very good time that he needs to obviously put in a shift that Erik Ten Hag will always like. Remember, he got an injury when you're playing against Arsenal in the preseason, and it was an injury, and he's really back, fully recovered, and Erik Ten Hag is really excited to have him into the training session of Man United. And we don't know whether he's going to make it to the match squad that is going to see United play against Bournemouth, but the moment you get into the first team training sessions, that means you are good to go at the club. I don't know how Erik Ten Hag is going to obviously gradually bring him back, God knows, but I don't think he's going to go through the process like what Kobe Menu really went in through, because Kobe Menu hadn't gone ahead to play a full season that was really competitive, but this guy played at Rangers, and then he came in through and played at Sunderland for a full season that was really competitive, and he had gone ahead to obviously get some games at Man United, meaning that the manager is really knowing the right thing to do for him and is not obviously going to get him out of the squad because of that. He has the experience and he knows exactly what to do. A player that scores 14 goals in the championship just shows you that he is really a Premier League ready-made material to come in through and do the needful. But Rashford has to up his game. If he doesn't, then he won't get any game time, because now Amad Diallo returns, and the right attacking side of the midfield, where Rashford has always been squeezed by Erik Ten Hag, to see that he obviously picks his form back, is full with two left-footed players, and Erik Ten Hag wants that. He wants that balance. He wants that balance of left-footed players playing on the right attacking side of the midfield. On the left, Garnacho is making wonders. In his previous 4 games, he has gone ahead to score 2 goals and put up 1 assist. Now, how can a player like Marcus Rashford come in through and obviously not really really dislodge Garnacho from that position, because Rashford has gone ahead to play very many minutes in the Premier League, but he has 2 goals, of which one is a penalty, and they've not been those games that you obviously look at and really understand that consistency in form has been paramount. But for Garnacho, he'll obviously give you that. And I fancy that Amad Diallo is going to start against Bournemouth, and Anthony Rashford is going to be benched again. And these senior players have been warned by Erik ten Hag, as you see the title in there for you. And they had a request they're making to the manager, and the manager said no. And let's get into that story after really addressing the story of none other than Amad Diallo. Now, these senior players have gone ahead to obviously say something to Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag's response to players of Man United requesting more days off is understood to have been uncompromising, in stating that the high standards of dedication and sacrifice are required to play for a club such as Man United, and the players should be prepared to put their bodies on the line. That is Erik ten Hag for you. Then, Erik ten Hag is refusing to bow down to demands from senior players for more days off and advance notice of their training schedule. Erik ten Hag is understood to have fielded several complaints from members of the Man United players leadership group in recent weeks over their workload, with particular grips over the limited number of rest days they are given and the squad's inability to plan their time off. And this is where I like my manager, and I've gone ahead obviously back him through day in, day out, because for a manager like Erik ten Hag, what shows you that you are really a manager and you are really ready to take United to the next level is to impose your authority onto these players. These players have been relaxing all around, and they've always gone ahead to run away with it. Remember when Ralf Rangnick came in through, players leaked stories to the media that Ralf Rangnick wants them to train until 5, until 5 p.m. And when Erik ten Hag came in through, he introduced 2 training sessions. You come in the morning, you train, you rest for like 2 hours, then you come back and train in the evening. And the intensity needs to be right, because it doesn't come by mistake that United comes ahead and really puts in an intensive game against Chelsea and maybe drop it against Bournemouth. That is all about in training. All you need to do and understand is the team needs to obviously be at its best. And if the team is at its best, it needs to be training right. This intensity is needed to obviously put yourself where you deserve to be. And these players of Man United, I've seen the Clay has Luke Shaw, Rashford, Casemiro, Rafael Varane, as they call themselves, and Tim Heaton as senior players. They should understand that the game is going to have to shift to the next level. Because Casemiro was playing at Real Madrid, and he's an old student of the game. The same applies to Tom Heaton. The same applies to Rafael Varane. And for Rashford, he has been at Man United, and these players have always been complaining every time a new manager came in through and put in a shift. You understand? So when that manager comes in through and really puts in a shift that is really well doctored, because he knows exactly that's what's being done at Manchester City, and players are coming out and say, no, we are not supposed to be doing like that. That means the players want to overtake the authority of the manager, and that's why the manager has to pick players that can fight for him on the field of play. That's why I'm happy for Amad Diallo to return, because I know he's one of those players that will come in through and obviously fight for the manager. Secondly, these players who don't want to obviously meet the levels of training of Erik ten Hag should really go. The club should tell them that these are the standards that we've gone ahead to set, and if at all you cannot meet them, that exit door is widely open. You can go. And trust me, these players won't go. They have to dance to the tunes of the manager if at all the board gives the board a very good go, because they're earning huge money. Rashford is earning £350,000 a week. Tell me a team in the world that can offer him that. It's only Man United. Casemiro is earning £360,000 a week. Who is going to offer him that amount for the next 3-4 years he's left on his contract? Varane, £300,000 a week. So I really understand what they're talking about, and it's really important that this club of Man United has always gone ahead to obviously go through this spell, and I was happy that the board is behind the manager. That's why they went ahead to really suspend Samuel Lucas and Sky Cover in the press conference that United was going to hold to ahead of the Chelsea game after putting out those bad stories. So for me, I like Erik ten Hag and he's a man of his word. I don't want a manager who really shifts or keep shifting goalposts. Then Erik ten Hag, when asked if would have done anything differently regarding his situation of Jadon Sancho, he said, no, I would not do anything different. That is Erik ten Hag for you. So I love my manager. And guys, tell me your thoughts about Amad Diallo returning and Erik ten Hag issuing a serious warning to United senior players who really want to direct him on how he manages the club of Man United. He's obviously telling them, do your job. Do your job. Do your job. I'm the manager. Do your job. You know, I'm supposed to manage. You're supposed to play the ball. Go onto the field of play. If you can't do exactly what I'm telling you to do, then you are not going to get into my team. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Juma Karim, I'm out.